everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I am here with Jess from The Modern Bride. We are going to be answering some of your questions that you left for me on my Instagram stories. Then the rest of the video will kind of like be a little montage of me and my dress choosing process. So I'm going to let Jess introduce herself.
Hi guys, my name is Jess Hirst. I'm the founder of The Modern Bride. My mom and I run The Modern Bride together here in downtown Guelph.
All right, so the first question is how to style it versus the venue and like how to make sure it all fits together.
I think a lot of girls, when you start the wedding process, there's like all the pin boards and everything that's going on. And then once you start trying things on, the vibe that you're going for, I think needs something that you need to keep in mind. Some girls will try on that have like lots of favorites, and then when you're going back and forth, they're like, okay, well, if I was getting married in the winter, then this would be great. So stick true to the vibe of the wedding that you imagine, because if you were able to have 4 weddings, you could have 4 different styles. So picking something that is practical for your wedding too. So if your venue is outdoors and you have to walk a really long way to the aisle, or there's just certain things, you probably gonna want something a little bit more low maintenance, but keeping in mind all the parameters of your venue and also the vibe you want to go for. If it's a little bit more formal, if it's a little more casual, we can kind of help guide you there. Plus, you know, you fall in love with something and it's not perfect. There are certain ways you can style something up and down in order for it to fit that venue. Trust your consultant. That's a big one. I feel like coming with an open mind is the best way to start your shopping experience, and it can be really overwhelming and it can be really long, but we're only here to help. So listening to what we have to say and then giving us as much feedback as you can is really important.
Yeah, originally I think all my pins were like long sleeve dresses, and then when I started trying them on, it was like just like hard to envision too, because a lot of the sleeves don't like fit, right? And then you're like, okay, like how's that gonna work? And then realistically, I got married at the end of July, so I was like, I don't know if I can handle sleeves in the heat. A lot of people actually asked me if I was gonna do 2 dresses. Do you find that a lot of brides, like, how many, like, would you say like a percentage of brides doing 2 dresses?
More and more.
Yeah?
Yeah. Okay. I think that also goes with like the vibe of the day, right? So say you do want something pretty extravagant.
Okay. Yeah.
Having the second dress is usually more chill. Whether or not you want to like dance is the big one. Like the practicality of an enormous dress or like something that's hard to walk and move in is 2 things. But also if you're having like something really formal for the ceremony, but you're having something a little more chill, having that change, or the convertible dress is really big right now. So overskirts to give 2 looks to really 1 dress, or having like a mini reveal. Obviously that's super creative for girls and for designers to come up with. So I'm seeing that more and more. I love it. I will likely wear more than 1 dress. I won't ever be able to decide, but I definitely see the draw in 2 dresses and that kind of 2 look situation.
Yeah, I was thinking of it, and then I tried on, like, and then I decided on my dress, and I was like, I love it so much. I can't just wear it for like 30 minutes, and then so I was like, okay, I'm just gonna do the 1. And
that's probably the biggest thing to like go like no 2 looks, is that some girls fall so in love with your dress, like you want to wear it as long as possible. Otherwise, you're just like, what am I going to do with this dress after?
Exactly. So the next question is, what is your opinion about marriage and a person's age? So I feel like I've answered my marriage question in like the previous Q&A, but I think having Jess here who sees like brides come in all the time, what are your thoughts on person's age?
That's a good question. Yeah, that's a good question. I'd say the majority of our brides are anywhere between 25 and 35. That's pretty much the majority. We do get some younger brides. I'm gonna be 31 this year and I'm not married, so it's in my circle of friends that's pretty normal. Like there was a lot of weddings about 5 years ago, and now we're coming up to the 2nd round, and that's usually how it goes. I think generationally you get the girls who marry really early, either right out of high school or first years of university, college, and then you get the people who are waiting till, you know, either they didn't find someone right away, or you're waiting until your career is more established, or kids or whatever. I think that like the broad range is pretty normal now. I feel like we, in the very beginning, like our boutique is 6 years old. And I think in the beginning we saw a lot more young girls, and now it's kind of anywhere between, like I said, like 25 and 35, but even as young as like 21, and then mature brides as well, which I hate that word. I wish there was another term for mature brides, because we're all cusping the mature bride thing.
And we all want to be mature too.
Yes. I think that like this trend for like inclusivity of all ages changes the wedding as well. So some people who are waiting don't want the traditional wedding, or even anything that even resembles a traditional wedding. Like, tradition doesn't mean that, okay, you got married in a church and then you have a ceremony. Some people are eloping, some people are doing like the small wedding, or it's like a mini elopement. So there's all these different things that I think can speak to every age and every kind of style. You don't have to fit into that box of, oh, okay, I'm 27, now it's time for me to get married. It kind of goes everywhere in that range.
And because you mentioned that you guys are doing like weddings here now, right?
Yeah, we have,
talk more about that.
That's crazy. Like, I feel like it's called Swept Away, and it's an elopement. It's like a pop-up chapel, so we call it an elopement ceremony, but you can have, it's like a mini wedding, and we do it throughout the whole space. You get 2 hours in the space, and basically it's for the people who don't have time or maybe even want to plan a wedding.
Like, after going through that, I definitely, that appeals to me now more.
I think that, like, and you still want the beautiful pictures, so it's fully styled for you, and a photographer captures everything, and you get to have 30 or so people, so we take all that kind of.
So you provide a photographer too?
Yeah, you get, so you get 2 hours in the space, you get an hour for you get hair and makeup for yourself as a bride, you get 2 hours in the space, the ceremony happens upstairs, and then you have a cocktail hour down here, so you get cocktails, apps, and a photographer to do your like portraits and family stuff upstairs, and then someone to take candids down here, and then you move along to whatever you have planned. And it's just one of those things where you get all those like beautiful photos, but you just either don't have the time or the capacity to put something like that together. Our May event is completely sold out. There's 6 or 8 couples getting married, and then November we're like halfway. I think there's like 4 or 5. And so it's those people who are just like, I've been together forever, or you know, like, I have a crazy job and I just can't put this together, but I really want to celebrate this in a pretty low maintenance way. And most people go on to like a restaurant after and just have dinner somewhere, keeping it really, really low key.
So one of them is an online recommendation. I know you guys are in store, but let's say like someone was thinking of coming here and like wanted to kind of see the brands that you carry and what you carry before they make the trip. Lots
of people do a lot of research now, which is good, because you want to know what kind of price point you want to be around, what you're looking for, and then what the store provides. So we have a designer page, and we try and update it with current photos as much as we can. Not everything is listed on the website because our stock in the dress loft is constantly changing. That's a big important thing for us, to keep everything as fresh as possible. But make sure you're like creeping your brand's Instagrams and finding what you love, and like bringing those ideas and then keeping an open mind, because I'd say 85% of the time, what people come with is not what they leave with. And that's kind of hard in an appointment too, because if you're doing all this research, you're building like this picture in your head, and then when it doesn't start working out, it is hard to kind of switch gears onto something that's maybe more flattering, that you didn't think of, or something that completely catches you off guard. Like, lots of girls will fall in love with something that's completely out of left field. They're like, oh my god, I never thought I would go with an A-line, I never thought I would go with lace, I want to plain, I want to plain, I want to plain. So keeping an open mind, but doing the research on the things you love and going to the stores, because I feel like sometimes girls will find like something on Pinterest with like a picture, and then if you can't try it on, it's hard to get it out of your head. So doing your research, but keeping that in mind is really, really important. I have to say, I don't recommend people buying online, just because I've never done it myself. I've bought bridesmaids dresses and everything, and that's a much smaller investment. But just being careful and like getting recommendations from other people who've used websites, because I've heard some scary stories. And it's your wedding dress, and you really like feeling like you said you tried on a lot of silk. Feeling that from other fabrics is a big in-store experience. Like, you want it, like the way you feel in that Alexander Greco dress is different than other fabrics. So, and having that moment is definitely like, it's important.
What were the qualities in a wedding dress that you were looking for? So for me, I definitely liked my fabrics, and I think silk was definitely one of like the top fabrics I was looking at. But I surprisingly looked at a lot of lace too, just because I started wanting more to my dress, and then kind of took myself back. So like, I think you go on a journey when you try on your wedding dress. Like, you
for sure,
like maybe we'll like do a quick tour of the loft upstairs, just like when you see all the dresses, you're like, oh, like maybe I'll try this. And I think it is like a good thing to try on as many dresses that like kind of speak to you, just because you never know. I don't think that the dress that I ended up with was like one that I was like, yeah, like this is definitely it just by looking at it. I think it was like when I put it on and like saw the reaction of my family that was with me too, like that kind of all came together. So I didn't, the quality was probably, the fabric and I wasn't gonna do a ball gown. I think. I started out trying ball gowns, and then I was like, oh, like, it's not too bad. And then you'd like go home and be like, oh no, I don't think so.
Yeah, this is really me. Yeah.
Best and worst part about wedding dress shopping. For me, I think the best part was like seeing all the different brands and like trying on clothes and having my family with me, because I feel like one of the good things about the wedding process is like all your family and friends like want to be with you, right? Like especially when you get older, you don't get a chance to like be with family and friends all the time, and like during that wedding process, they're like you all want to be together, and like shopping with your mom, shopping with your sisters, and like your mother-in-law and sister-in-law.
It's a really unique shopping experience, and sometimes people like really love that, and sometimes it's really difficult, but try and make it as easy as possible. But it's definitely like you're never going to shop like this again, so it's definitely unique to buying your dress. You're not going to H&M with all your family.
Yeah, exactly. And then I guess the worst part is just having to make a decision, right? Like it's just it is really stressful, because like, well, for me at least it was stressful, because you have so many options. And then for me, I think I thought that the dress, the Alexandra Greco one, like I tried it on, I was like, I'm pretty sure this is it, but I think I almost waited a month or a month and a half before I decided on it.
Well, that's not weird. I feel like it is a big decision, and your wedding dress sets the tone for a lot of things that you're going to decide. And you know, like you're into fashion, it's like it's a bigger decision, because people were probably waiting with bated breath to see.
Everyone was like, I need to see your dress. I was like, oh god.
Pressure.
There was a little bit of pressure there to do that, but in the end it was what I felt comfortable in and what I wanted, and I feel like you guys liked it, so it was good. I don't know if you have anything.
Yeah, I think that probably the best part is obviously that excitement, right? This is probably one of the most coveted parts of the wedding planning experience. Everyone can't wait. So, you know, kind of keeping that excitement in, like the boutique is just buzzing on Saturdays and Sundays. That's usually Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays where we do our most appointments. Everyone is just like, so it's like the happiest time in your life, and you get to share with those people who you bring on the couch. Hardest part, I think, definitely making a decision is really hard for a lot of girls. Pulling trigger for a number of reasons, whether it's like a little bit of pressure or being indecisive. Some girls leave it to the last minute, which is really, really stressful, because everything's made to order. We need so much time, and that also puts people, like, that's a little bit of pressure, because you're like, okay, it's so far out, like, what if I change my mind? What happens if I don't love it when it comes in? There is a lot of these questions, but just believing in yourself, and that you are, like, you're making the right choice. You don't feel pressure, like we don't work on commission here, so knowing that we're just here to kind of support that decision, and taking your time. Like if you need to sleep on it, or if you need to wait a month, shopping at the right period allows you to do that.
I was a little early. So
and that's good. Like honestly, the earlier, if you're about a year out, a year to 8 months is perfect, because then you get that time to be like, okay, you know what, I'm not a girl who can say yes in the first time. I'd say it's probably split down the middle. If girls are able to like come, shop, choose something, and then the other girls either have to sleep on it, wait some more, come back. So if you're not that girl who can say yes on the pedestal the very first time, that's okay. If you are, that's awesome. That's like the go-getters out there. But taking that time and really understanding, like reflecting, coming back, and almost everyone comes back to the same dress. It's all good. You can come as many times as you need.
And then you know. And then you know for sure, right?
And also not looking after.
Yes, that was hard.
A big one. But like some girls like, well, I'm not ready for the process to end. And I'm like, this is only the beginning. Like saying yes right now, like accessorizing it, you know, doing your alterations, every other thing you have to plan for the rest of your day. This is the first decision of many, so it doesn't end here.
Maybe a creepy question, but what underwear did you wear, right? Basically, I ended up wearing it was a seamless, high-waisted nude thong from Chantel. I think that's what the brand was. Yeah, I had like gone to many underwear stores just to like check it out, because I didn't know what to wear, and because of how the dress was shaped, like I couldn't really wear like some sort of Spanx thing because the back was too low. So yeah, I ended up wearing a high-waisted seamless thong. I don't know.
That's what we suggest. Yeah. It depends on the dress, right? Like some are more Spanx friendly than others. Some actually designers are building in Spanx now, not like the shorts, but like almost like a tighter two-part to the dress, which is, and it's like really breathable and great. But I find that the high-waisted thong is easiest. It helps with the belly button problem, where it looks like kind of a shadow. Honestly, like that's your belly button. So if you really care, if you don't care about it, then like it's not a big deal. Everyone knows you have it, but it covers that belly button, and it also doesn't give you like an underwear line at the back. even at the top, not even like as a thong, but just it's really, really like probably the best for the most dresses.
Can dresses be rented?
No.
Yeah. I feel like it's like, once you start trying them on, like it's hard to rent a dress because it's like you have to fit it to you perfectly.
Yeah, it's really, really hard. Like most dresses come with like really long straps in order to accommodate so that in-house we can pin things. But when it comes long, it's designers always give you extra because you can't make that out of nothing. So straps are really long so we can pin them shorter. Hemlines are really long so that it can accommodate everyone who's tall. Everything is just like a little bit extra so that you can utilize that. It's not like a tux where you can rent a tux and there's little things you can kind of do to it, unfortunately. Plus, like, almost everyone is not like a street 6, right? So a measurement for every size is...
I was 2 sizes smaller on the top than my bottom when they measured me. I was like, oh my gosh, like, I don't know.
Almost everyone is like that. So whether like you're a little bit more busty or you've got a booty, everyone will measure differently on the size chart, and the dress comes just like when I'm like, okay, well, we recommend a 4. Okay. Even though you're like a 2 or a 0 up top, you have to accommodate for when you want to sit and dance and do all those things. So it has to be kind of tailored to you. And that's the best part, is that when you wear it, it's yours. And that's why it's so hard to rent.
What were the different dress shapes that you tried on? Quickly mentioned it, so like, wait, I'm gonna ask her first because I don't know the shape names correctly. So what are the different shapes that one can try on?
Okay, so I'll make it as simple as possible because there's about a million.
Okay.
So there's the A-line or ball gown. I'd say ball gown is a fuller A-line, usually has a crinoline or lots of layers. It pops out a little bit more like a cake. A-line is, again, the same shape but a little bit more quiet. So the skirt will just usually fall but won't hug anything the same way like a ball gown and A-line are kind of in that same category. And then you fall into like the sheath, where it won't hug, but it will fall along your body. And so instead of like having more of a fit to flare, it just falls down. And then we move to the fit and flare, which is really like, which is hugging under the bum, along the thighs, and then pops either at mid-thigh or a little bit lower. I would say is technically a mermaid.
Lower is mermaid?
Yeah, lower.
All right, because it's more
it looks more like a mermaid, but I'd say every designer uses those terms loosely. But we'd say that like in order to, and that's really helpful when girls come in, they're like, this is what I like, and showing us photos, because sometimes people will say fit and flare, but then they're looking at stuff that's more sheath. You don't have to worry about terminology. We will help you. And it's hard because online, like I know that Pernovius uses all mermaid when I would consider that a fit to flare. I find like the true mermaid is like really low and heavily flared, but a fit to flare usually comes out like here, right? Just below like the butt, and like gives you that beautiful hourglass without not being able to walk.
Yeah, guys, I had that issue too when I was looking at dresses. I was like, and sometimes like online, I think you asked like what kind of dress we were looking for, and I was like, oh. So I think I like chose like as many as I could because I didn't know. But to answer the question, I tried on ball gowns. Like even though I like was pretty sure I was never gonna choose it, I was surprisingly surprised that I didn't mind it. Like you do feel like a princess in it. It is like, I feel like you should just try one on. Yeah, just try one on. You never know.
You should. Honestly, you should try on as many styles as you want. And a first appointment goes a lot differently than someone who's been shopping somewhere else. So if you, by the time you came to us, you had been shopping. And so you were a little bit more knowledgeable on the silhouette that you wanted to go with. You were like, hey, I did the ball gown thing. I'm not really ready to go there. So girls who have never been, we definitely explore several silhouettes, because you don't know what it feels like until you get in. So make sure that's there.
So I did ball gown. I think I did maybe one fit and flare. That one I was pretty sure that I didn't want. I mean, my regular style is not very like form-fitting anyway, so I didn't want to have like a super tight dress on my wedding day. So that was kind of just like, I just already knew. And then sheaths and all that whole like realm of things was like what I was trying to move towards, and why I ended up here, because you guys have so many awesome options that are like,
and Greco does a really nice sheath. Like it shows your body, but it doesn't have to be like skin tight. So
and I think that was one of the questions that you guys asked me when I was trying to decide on the size, because I was kind of in between sizes for this dress, and like there were pictures of girls wearing it tighter, right? Like, and so it was almost like a fit and flare, and then like some people wearing it more of like how I ended up wearing it, which was more of like a sheath, because it kind of just like flowed down, and that's like another thing, right? Like because it's made for you, you can choose like how the dress fit. Last one is like, was the final dress something you've always planned, imagined, or picked it after trying it on? So kind of the same thing. Yeah. It's like, no, I didn't have a vision, and sometimes it could be better to have a vision because then like you can find it right away, but then also can be a detriment too if like you get stuck. I think that was the end of our questions, and we will bring you upstairs to the loft to quickly show you some stuff too. Okay? Yeah. Awesome. All right, guys, this is the dress loft. It's so beautiful. I remember coming in here the first time, and it was like so like overwhelmingly beautiful. And I'm gonna have to ask Jess to help me out to find kind of like the brands that I tried on so I can show you some things quick. All right, this is one of the ones I tried on. It is also by Alexandra Greco. I didn't end up choosing it just because it sat like a little bit too low on me that I was comfortable, but it is so beautiful. Like all the detailing, I think, of Greco's is like why I ended up choosing. So this one was another one that I tried on. I was really into like all the detailing, but when I put it on, I feel like it just overwhelmed me, but it looked really, really beautiful on like the other brides that I saw it on. But that was why I didn't end up choosing it. And like some of these dresses come in like a blush, like some different tones, right?
Yeah, it depends. Some designers, lots of designers offer different colors.
Okay.
If you're feeling like an off color isn't as traditional.
Yeah, so one of the things that like Travis, obviously, like my husband, didn't have like much say in the dress, but he did like say that he wanted a white dress, just like because he's super traditional that way. So we tried to stick as like classic as we could with the color. All right, so there's another dress that was like the runner-up to my dress, and it is not here anymore. It is basically like this. It was completely like a solid white silk or ivory, I guess.
Yep.
It was a solid ivory dress like this, very similar, but it is no longer here, but this one looks beautiful too. All right, so this is the wrap up. I think we answered all your questions. If you have any left, leave them in the comments below and say thanks to Jess for answering all your questions too. And I will be showing a little bit of like a montage kind of thing after this section here in the video. So make sure to stay tuned to watch that of like my wedding dress process. And what was I gonna say? And if you like the video, like the video, subscribe to my channel. I will be leaving the Modern Brides Instagram in the description box too, so definitely follow them because they have the most gorgeous pictures and you get to see a lot of their dresses there. And of course my Instagram too. So I will see you guys next time, and thanks for watching.
Bye.